Okay, tell me one.
Hi there, and welcome to the Real Guy Podcast. Today we got a special guest. We got Victoria Rose, a.k.a. The Worm, and she recently just went to Playlist Live in Orlando, and we're dying to hear all about the new Playlist Live show that went on. Victoria Rose, thanks for coming in today. Glad to have you.
Hi, thanks for having me, Dad. I was going to say Jeff, but I didn't think that was appropriate.
That's pretty good. I don't know, a lot of people, especially my age, don't even know what Playlist Live is. So why don't we start off by you explaining to the listeners out there exactly what Playlist Live is, where it was, and how the whole thing, why you wanted to go and all that.
So Playlist Live is an event where you get to go and meet all of your favorite YouTubers or social media stars.
Right.
And it's at the World Center Marriott Hotel and Convention Center in Orlando.
Wow.
And that hotel, I just have to say, is ginormous. It is huge, and it's great. I mean, it's.
So the hotel, that's the one right next to the Convention Center in Orlando.
Yeah. The hotel and the Convention Center are actually like attached and combined.
Right.
So the hotel, it's just an escalator down to the Convention Center where you can check in and do your business meetings, or in this case, Playlist Live, go and meet your favorite people.
Oh, okay. And was it packed? Was it like a major success, the event?
Yeah. It was huge. I mean, there's tons of people there, mostly like girls, but because I know we're all into that stuff. But it was huge. I think it's a pretty big event, and it's spread on social media a lot, and people travel from like different states, like North states, just to come down and do Playlist Live.
So all the kids traveled from all over to go to Playlist Live, and they were at maximum capacity. There was no rooms left. And
yeah, actually, Playlist Live does a room share where like they book almost all of the hotel rooms in the, hotel.
Right. And
almost by the time that me and Mom, we looked for our hotel room, and it was in November, and even with the Playlist Live booking, there was only very few hotel rooms left.
All right, so people are dying to go to this event.
Yeah, and then you'll see all your favorite people in the lobby, and just these huge people who can't run out of the room without getting mobbed with people. So constantly in the lobby, there's just a big rush of people every 5 seconds, because we had this one time where we're getting ready to leave, but we wanted to go, get a snack. So there was a star named Tana Mojo who was just recently, was in the lobby, and she was spotted, and there was a whole thing on Instagram going on about it. And I saw this huge rush of girls just swarm past me. And then I know my friend Elizabeth, she's very tiny.
Right.
She got carried off, and like she wasn't even like on the ground. Like she was like carried.
Because the crowd was so thick?
Because the crowd was so thick trying to get to those people.
Wow, I didn't realize it was quite like that. I mean, I knew that a lot of kids went to, Playlist Live, but I had no clue. So basically these YouTubers that you kids are into were kind of treated like rock stars at this event.
Yeah, it's like if, you were to meet, I don't know, someone like Lady Gaga, or
somebody like
someone really big like Angelina Jolie or Jennifer Lopez, something like that. Yeah.
So would you say that the kids that are your age now, realize Victoria's just turned 13, and she went to Playlist Live. That was her choice for a birthday gift. She did really good in school this last year, and she's been a good kid, so she was able to pick what she wanted to do for her birthday. And she told us she wanted to go to Playlist Live, and being involved in social media over the years with the Lunker Dog stuff, how can you tell your kid, that she couldn't go to an event like this? So did you see any similarities between Playlist Live and LUNKERCON?
So, like LUNKERCON, even though LUNKERCON's usually in a smaller place, it's usually packed with people, congregating, having fun. Right. And Playlist Live's a lot of that, because everyone's, talking to each other. You're making new friends with people, like, from all over. And, you're just kind of, like, experiencing what everyone likes and figuring out what aspects of YouTube or what part of, or any kind of subject that they like to watch and like learning more about people.
Okay. So it's pretty social.
Yeah, definitely.
And maybe that's why these people are social media stars.
Well, yeah, social media, but.
So was there any of your social media stars that you wanted to meet that you actually got to shake hands with, hang out with, take pictures with? I mean, how did it work?
So I pretty much went for these two people, Hannah Maloche and Ellie Thuman, and for a bonus, Ava Jules was there, which is like one of their best friends.
Okay.
And she's pretty cool. But I had a huge thing with Hannah Maloche. Like, she was my favorite YouTube person for like so long, and I wanted to meet her so bad. But when I first got in the registration line, we waited, because the line goes from the end of the convention center, like the parking lot, all the way to the hotel, and that's like a half mile.
What do you mean registration line?
So to get your badge, you have to wait in a registration line, and that's when you get to choose your meetups if you didn't already pre-choose them, which is only 24 hours, and that's like a couple weeks before. It kind of just surprises you to see, like, it's like a bonus kind of. So if you're in this registration line, you're on your way to get your badge, which means you can go into Playlist Live.
Okay.
So usually the line is backed up like a half mile, but we waited an hour and a half, and we got there at 2:30, even though it started at 4.
Right.
Just so that we can be at the front of the line. So we're at the front of the line, and we get in, and I'm all ready to, pick my meetups and who I'm going to meet. And that whole meetup with all my favorite people were taken. And I was so annoyed, but it was okay, because I was like, maybe I'll see them in the lobby. So, it gets later, it's the people who I want to meet get there, they're in their rooms having a time, and I check their Instagram story, and I'm like, oh, they're still in their hotel room. So to get to our hotel room, which is in the West Tower, which is next to the North Tower, you have to cross the green room, which is the floor underneath the North Tower. Yeah. The green room is where all of the YouTube stars go and hang out and kind of rest and get a break from all of like the mobbing and pictures and stuff.
Okay.
So I see Hannah, Ellie, and Ava in the green room walking out. And it was just me and my group of friends that were over there, and I almost like cried. And I guess they saw me, and they came out and took pictures with me, and they're like talking with me. And Ava Jules specifically, I think, was probably the nicest one.
Now, Ava Jules, that was one of your
that was one of my favorite people.
Okay.
And so she was probably the nicest. Like, I came up to her because Hannah and Ellie are more popular than her, but she is still amazing.
Right.
So I was the only one because like after we found them, they got mobbed. So I was the only one that went up to Ava and was like, hey, can I take a picture with you? Like, you're my favorite person. And she like grabbed my face and was like, you are the cutest person ever. And then, so she was like, we have to take a picture. So I took a picture, and then she put me on her Snapchat story.
Wow.
And liked my post of her and me on my Instagram.
Okay.
Kind of freaking out. And then, I like texted her something, and I texted her the pictures of us, because she told like the people at her meetup to send pictures, and I had friends who were at that meetup. So I sent her my picture and like a little thing about like, you're so great, and she actually messaged me back.
Wow.
And she was, oh my god, she was so nice, and I was literally like kind of freaking out, but that was fun. Yeah.
What a bonus! I mean, you got to meet the person that you were most infatuated about, and that you really wanted to meet, and then she turned out to be just an awesome kid.
She was so nice.
And was nice to you, and took pictures with you, and wow, what a bonus! Because that's not always the case. Sometimes you meet, a superstar, and then. You're so excited to meet them, and then they don't really, aren't that friendly or standoffish, and then it's like a huge letdown. So what a bonus that this girl was, that cool.
Yeah. So speaking of like, the expectations of like the personality of your, your favorite person. So we actually made like friends with some of the YouTubers that aren't as big, but they're still like pretty huge. Like Christian Saleb, for example.
Right.
He is one of the nicest people ever. And I didn't really know him at the time when we first met him, but that night I was watching all of his videos and like seeing what he was all about, and he's really cool. And he invited us to go to lunch with him, and we were like starstruck. And I was kind of, like pretty excited, you know, like pretty hyped up about that. And, you know, while we were talking with him, we didn't end up going to lunch because he had to check in late or early. He had to check out early, but
Yeah, these people have like crazy busy schedules.
yeah. But while we were talking with him and Joe Owie, which is a weird name, but like he's great. They were telling us about like how it's like so great that they're meeting their fans and like that they love it. And they kind of like accidentally spilled the YouTube tea, which is like the gossip, and was like telling us about how some people are like hating their fans, like don't even want to talk to them or like over on the first day.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but all the people we met were really nice and amazing.
That's cool. That's cool. The I don't know. It's like it's hard for you know, people my age, you know, to understand where you kids are coming from and how you're so attracted to these YouTube and social media stars. But I'll tell you a quick little story. What happened to me when I was about your age, maybe a little younger, but the Dallas Cowboys came to Fort Lauderdale to play the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl. I think it was 1977. And Dan Reeves, which was one of the football coaches, I think he was the quarterback and running back coach for Dallas, just happened to go to high school and grow up in the same small town in Georgia as my mother. So when they came into town to do the Super Bowl, they stayed at Bahia Mar, which was about 10 blocks from our house. And my mom called up Danny Reeves and told Danny that we lived down the street, and Danny invited us down to Bahia Mar to hang out with him and the Dallas Cowboys. And at your age, I was hanging out at the pool at Bahia Mar and the beach for 2 days with all the dudes from the Dallas Cowboys. I remember meeting Robert Newhouse, Drew Pearson. I mean, to this day, you know, it's instilled in my mind, and I was just so excited, so infatuated by all the, you know, big-time football players. Yeah. And I was been a Dallas Cowboys fan ever since. So I guess for you kids, it'd be very similar
this
to
is it, yeah.
Yeah, to play this live. Now, what was your favorite thing that you and your friends got into? You know, because and also tell everybody like how long you were there, because you know it wasn't like an hour long, right?
No, I was there for 3 days.
3 days.
I skipped school on Friday. I got there on Friday, and that's when, you know, everyone was getting there. So we first walked in.
So you skipped school to go?
Yeah, because it was like my birthday weekend.
I hope your teachers aren't listening to the podcast.
It's okay. It's okay, because like it was a half day and we weren't really doing anything. But
okay.
First 5 seconds I walk in, I was with my friend Isabella Santi, and first minute we walk in, bam, she meets one of her favorite social media people, Hunter Hicks, I think.
Okay.
No, Hayden Hicks.
Hayden Hicks.
And we have pictures of that. And, you know, we're waiting for our hotel room, so we're walking around, and we meet one of the big-time social medias. So we meet Zoe Laverne, who's one of these big-time, like, YouTube and, like, video girls.
Okay.
And then Haley Morales.
Okay.
And they're like, best friends. So, like, they're walking around together.
Right.
And they're, like, huge, like they're the best. And I was still in my car clothes / pajamas, so I was looking a little crusty. So
a little frumpy there.
Yeah, we were all in our like pajamas, so I have a bunch of pictures and we look really bad, but it was still amazing meeting them. It was great.
That's cool. Now how did you just pick your two best friends to go, or how did you pick the kids that you wanted to go to Play This Live with?
So Elizabeth, my friend, she got this for her birthday gift.
Okay. And
she was going to invite anyone. And last year she invited a whole bunch of people, but I didn't go because my mom was in Nashville. So this year we did our own little like girl thing. But
so you and Elizabeth had this thing planned out ever since last year?
Yes.
Oh wow.
And so I went with Isabella because I know she is huge on this social media stuff. Like I knew half the people that, you know, she loved and like was favoriting were going to be there. So I was like, she needs to come. Like if all of her favorite people are going to be there, like she's got to be there.
That's pretty thoughtful. So you thought of the two friends that you had that you thought would enjoy it the most and be able to meet the people that they wanted to meet and meet and greet and do the hangouts with and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get the lingo down. For a 50-year-old dude, I'm pretty up on social media and YouTube and different stuff, but I gotta tell you, the kids your age take it to a whole nother level.
Definitely.
Now, I want you to realize the first time that we did a live event with our social media people, with the people that are in the Lunker Dog Network, Victoria was 2 years old. Every time you put the phone down, they can hear it. That's right, it's all audio.
I forgot.
It's all good. It's all good. It's the first time you ever did a podcast, and you know me, I'm like really experienced at it. I've got like 12 under my belt now. But anyway, the first time you were ever exposed to the social media crowd, you were just a kid. I mean a kid, being a 13-year kid. But I mean, you were really young, and we did our event down at 15th Street Fisheries in Lauderdale Marina.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And you were a baby. But when we did our social media live event back then, like, we had no clue if people would show up, if anybody would listen to it or watch it on YouTube. And there was a service back then called Ustream. And Ustream. Like now today you can get live on Facebook, Instagram, Snap, all these different places that you can actually do live and people can, see live. Back then, the only place you could go live on the internet was Ustream. And the problem with going live on Ustream is most people's computers weren't fast enough. They didn't have the processors and stuff to even go live. But we had about 80 people show up to that event, and then we had about almost 100 people watching live online through Ustream. And we were totally floored. We were like, man, that's a pretty big crowd, and all these people were watching online, and we just thought we were like, the cat's ass back then. And every year our social media crowd has grown, and the live events have grown, and now we get 500 people at the events, and we have a good time. And it's just wild that the other YouTubers in your generation, this is like a rock concert. Or better, or Woodstock, Lollapalooza. It's 3 days long, and you guys are just constantly, having fun. Now, is there anything that sticks out in your mind, like what was really, really fun that you weren't expecting?
Okay, so I thought my favorite thing would be all the meet and greets and stuff. But just running around the lobby, like meeting all these people that I didn't even expect to even like see or know who was there, was like, I feel like my adrenaline was just kicking in, like, oh, let's go do this, let's go do this, let's go do that, like, let's meet these people, like, I can't believe I just met them kind of thing.
Right.
So our, like, quote, quote, YouTube friends were telling us, like, the hot spot to, like, where all of them were. So, we were just meeting them there, and we met tons of people, like, people that I don't even know, but I still took pictures with them because I thought I'd watch them in the future,
Right.
So I think that was probably the best.
Okay. Now, realize, I've gotten stories in the last couple of days from my kid and her friends and everything, and I just thought this was going to be, fun for the people in our audience to listen to, what the kids in the younger generation are doing with their social media events and all that. But tell them the story about the Pop-Tarts. I thought that was funny.
That was fun. Okay, so at Playlist, there's a bunch of booths that give you, like, free merchandise and stuff. So we're on the 5th floor, which in the West Tower, that's the top floor.
Now, this is in your hotel room?
Yes, in my hotel room. And so we were on the balcony, and, we're right by the pool, so there's tons of people walking around. We're by the pool bathroom.
Hold on. So from your hotel room, you had a balcony that overlooked the pool area?
And it was by the bathroom of the pool, so everyone was coming over there.
Okay.
And there was also a walkway to get to the main entrance.
Right.
So we were, like, packed with people below us. And we ended up just, like, going out there and starting yelling at them and, like, hey, do you guys want some free merch, And no one knows who anyone is. So they think we're, like, famous people. We're not famous people, obviously. But, like...
They thought you were famous because you were going to give them some stuff?
Yeah, because we were yelling off the balcony.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were like, oh, me. And then, so we just started throwing stuff. And then we ran out of merchandise. So we started selling food. And there was these really bad organic Pop-Tarts in our room. Like,
what,
no.
They were, like, came in with the snacks?
No, someone brought them. Like, Aunt Frances brought them.
Okay.
And she likes them, but
so
we all...
Mom brought some snacks to the room. Okay.
Everyone thinks they're really bad, but she loves them.
Okay.
So, you know, we ran out of stuff. And we had all this candy and all that stuff in the room. So we just start throwing it in bulk, just throwing it at them. Like, hey, who wants Pop-Tarts? And I threw them at this one guy, and he ate them. I don't know why he would eat Pop-Tarts that came out of someone's room, but he did. So we go back out the next day. And, you know, we're still throwing stuff. Now we're throwing balloons because we had letter balloons. And we were, like, seeing who had the first name with the letter and, like, tossing them the balloons.
Right.
So, the same guy who ate our Pop-Tarts walked past. And he was like, hey, like, can I have something? Like, I ate your Pop-Tarts yesterday. Like, you guys threw them to me. And, you know, we were obviously, like, surprised. And we were laughing. He was like, we were like, oh, that was you? We were like, did you eat them? And, you know, he said yes. And then we were like, oh, did you like them? He was like, no, they tasted terrible. And we were like, that's why we threw them.
All right.
It was really funny.
Very cool. Very cool. That's funny.
That was so good.
That's cool that your hotel room had the balcony overlooking all the people walking by and stuff. Now, you gotta tell us, dude. This thing was 2.5 days long.
Yeah.
So what was going on were the kids like hanging out at the pool, swimming? I mean, what were you guys doing for 2.5 days?
For 2.5 days, I'm running around the lobby, running around the convention center, meeting like famous people, watching shows, like, because there was this main stage where you had some of the famous people with like talents, like singing, doing like releasing their new music. There was one girl who we met their parents, like the parents, like my mom, and their parents were like, you know, like all nice, like getting to know each other. And then, you know, we're seeing like their kids were like famous, or in our eyes famous.
Right.
And we met a parent, and his kid's 13, and she just released her new, well, she didn't release her new song yet. It actually came out today. Yeah. Her new song came out today. But she was doing a sneak peek of it.
Right.
Just for playlist.
Wow.
So you had people who were coming out with new songs, like showing sneak peeks and teasers about them. Oh. So I didn't really watch too many of those because, you know, I wanted to run around and meet famous people, but because the hotel was huge, there was just so much to do.
I got you. So a lot of the YouTubers that were like, they were trying to expose what was coming up in the future for them and their new projects. Okay. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. You know, it's wild, but the social media, I mean, the way it's taken over all the other forms of media is a lot different. I got to tell you, you know, when we do our meetup every year, which we call LUNKERCON, it was actually named by, you know, people in our network. It totally floors me that people, you know, travel, spend time, energy, money, to come out and to be a part of the events that you throw.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was really hard for me to get for a long time, but then, you know, after doing, God, we got to be on our 10 straight years of doing live events with our social media following. Mm-hmm. And what it's taught me is people that follow people on social media are more attached. They think they personally know you more so than, say, TV or radio or, you know, Hollywood movie stars. So it's much more personable, and everybody can participate, and they want pictures. They want to take pictures of you.
Because they want to say, I met so-and-so, or, you know, I talked to Jeff Maggio. Like, I met Jeff. Like, mm-hmm. I met this guy, and he's an icon, you know? Like, I did that.
Right, and they can by having the picture, they can share it, they can put it on their Instagram mm-hmm. or whatever that they like to do.
Pretty much bragging rights.
Bragging rights.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's cool. I mean, I wish in 1977 when I was hanging out with the Dallas Cowboys that I had a whole bunch of pictures with those guys.
Yeah.
We were, we had to develop photos then. Like, it was like a month-long process to get a photo, and then you had to personally show it to somebody in order for them to see that.
Yeah.
So that wasn't an option back then, but God, I wish that was in. God, if I could have
That would be cool.
Right, I think Tony Dorsett was a rookie at the time. And I would have had a picture with Tony Dorsett as a rookie. That would have been so cool.
That would have been cool.
All right. Well, what else about the live event that you think people would like to know about?
So, there was a little scandal.
What do you mean scandal?
So, a little bit of an issue, I guess, that went on. So we have these crazy fans, that are like, would meet you at all costs. Someone climbed up the building into someone's like window and took a picture of them like through the window, and they were like doing their personal business. So because they're in their hotel room,
so what? The fans of these people climbed up the wall,
climbed up to the second floor,
all right,
and went on their balcony and took pictures of this girl. I'm not gonna say who it is because
one of the YouTubers,
private, yeah. And the fan got a picture of like her doing something that's like her business, like her privacy.
Totally invaded the girl's privacy.
Totally invaded their privacy.
Oh.
And it got leaked all over social media.
Ooh.
Like everywhere.
Pretty harsh, huh?
Yeah. And because it was her business, like she felt like invaded,
Sure.
She was like, why would someone do this to me, So she deactivated all of her social media accounts. And when we saw her the next day, she was in the same clothes as before. Her hair was like crazy messed up. Like she looked like she'd been crying because her makeup was running down her face. And she was like crying in the lobby with her suitcase with a jacket over her head.
Wow.
And this was on the second day. And she left Playlist because she got her privacy invaded. And I don't think people realize what like privacy really is. Like, we get it, you're famous, like you're going to have some aspects of your life that you really can't keep private, but it's not right for you not to have any privacy at all, like
those kids really push the envelope by climbing up there and taking pictures of the poor girl.
They could have died. They could have fell.
Well, yeah, not only is it dangerous, but I mean it's just not a very nice thing to do to somebody.
Yeah.
And then it's really a shame that the YouTuber took it so harsh. And I think you were right on when you said you had a scandal going on down there.
Scandal, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else like that?
We had some issues like parties and stuff, I guess.
What do you mean?
So there would be they would spread a rumor like a party in the East Tower on the 5th floor, room 2620 whatever.
Right.
And people would go, and it wouldn't actually be a party. It'd just be like
so
someone would steal from people, like theft, like
really,
like they'd like get in there, like take their phone, and then like scooch them out, and be like pretend there was a party or whatever, and they'll like leave their stuff on the table or leave their stuff on the bed, and the whole point was to like snatch it before they leave.
So there was Playlist Live scams going on,
and it wasn't like by people who were at Playlist Live. It was just by the people who booked hotel rooms like that weren't a part of the whole thing. But so I say if you go to Playlist Live, don't accept anyone's party invitation unless you know it's legit.
All right, I think that's good advice. Well, Victoria, that was some really cool stuff. I'm not sure that people my age are going to relate to Playlist Live. But it just goes to show you, social media has grown over the decade, just crazy growth.
We're crushing it.
And I don't know, I just feel fortunate that with the Lunker Dog Network and all the videos and social media stuff that we put out over the years, that we were kind of ahead of all that. And I think the live events are great. I think it's great for the YouTubers. I think it's great for exposure. Mm-hmm. But there's obviously two sides to the coin between, some scams going on and the privacy issues and all the drama that goes along with the kids. But all in all, you had a great weekend, and it was a good birthday.
I loved it.
And would you want to do it again?
Of course. That was so much fun. Dude, that was great. Like, if I had an opportunity to do that again, I would snatch it.
Snatch it in a heartbeat.
Snatch it.
Well, I got a feeling that you will be at a LunkerCon before you go to another Play This Live.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to settle for that. Hang out with all your fisherman buddies.
Honestly, kind of love LunkerCon. It's like really fun.
Why? Why do you love LunkerCon?
Well, I think it's like so high energy. It's like pretty cool. Like I'm not like I don't watch YouTube like your YouTube videos. Like
Fishing
sorry,
videos.
Dad, but I don't watch your videos. But
You watch some of my videos.
well, yeah, the ones that you show me. I'm busy.
You got things.
I'm busy watching my other YouTube videos. You know.
Right.
You're next up afterwards if I
Right.
have time.
Okay.
We were actually watching them in class the other day, but that's not important right now. But I think the atmosphere, like, even if it's in a place where I'm not normally as comfortable, I think, like, the LunkerCon staff, like, they make it so that you feel comfortable, you know, like, relax, and, you know, meeting new people, it's so much fun. It's not, like, intimidating, I guess. Like, going up to people that I don't know, and I don't know their reaction, is scary. But I think LunkerCon makes it so that you don't have to be worried or scared. It's kind of like enclosed, like kind of fun, kind of fresh, fun and fresh. That's like a
Right.
easy.
Everybody, kind of like everybody that's in LunkerCon is in for the same reason.
Right, yeah.
So everybody's friendly.
Uh-huh.
And, okay.
Because with LunkerCon, since it's only you and like all the fishing people, it's just, I guess, focused towards one type of category of YouTube, fishing.
Right.
So I think with playlists, since it's all the different things, you're not sure who you're gonna encounter.
Right.
Because there's some rivalries or whatever with the fandoms, which is like the types of fans and the groups that go on between the YouTube groups, like arguments, I guess, about who's better or why, you know, they're superior
So
to
there's some
others.
eternal affairs that go along with having all those YouTubers there at the same
Yeah.
time. I got you.
And I think at LunkerCon, you know, you make it fun. You have activities that everyone can relate to.
Right.
So I guess everyone's more friendly, everyone's more fun and excited and energetic for LunkerCon.
Well, this last LunkerCon.
That was so much.
that was
That
fun.
one's my favorite.
Was that? I mean.
That one, I like the Tampa ones. I think the Tampa ones are fun.
The people in Tampa are just phenomenal, and the last LunkerCon we did in Tampa was last August, and I was going over a week early to meet with the Flats Mafia guys and do a radio show with them, and it totally floored me when you asked if you could go.
That was the best. Like, that was my favorite. That was such a fun trip.
Well, it made me feel good that you wanted to go and spend time with the guys in our social network and to be a part of it and
Flats
everything.
Mafia guys are funny.
You made some friends over there.
I like them.
Who's your favorite of the Flats Mafia guys?
Bubba.
Bubba?
Bubba and
They're all pretty nice.
yeah, they're all nice.
The
But I gotta say Bubba's my favorite because the belly flop competitions.
dude, that was pretty good. We were doing promos the day before or the week before LunkerCon. Get some video of the place we were doing it at, and there was a pool there, and we knew we were gonna do the belly flop contest. So Bubba, who's, let's just say he's usually one of the bigger guys in the room, was doing major belly flops side by side with the worm, all 100 pounds. And,
Me, just like my like him compared to me, I'm like, well, I'm already little, you know. So I think the difference between the big splashes and then me just being like, you know.
dude, I thought that was phenomenal. And how did you like being in the radio studio over there in Tampa?
I loved that.
Isn't
It
that
was
cool?
so cool.
That was cool. They had the guy, that was like could control the motherboard and had the radio voice that would do the
Yeah.
intros and outros and the advertising. And then you had Bubba who carried the show. And then and the worm, she was right in there with us, and we all had a good time. And I don't know. I just think it's great that when you do show up to LunkerCon, that you've made friends over the years, and people recognize, hey, that's Victoria, aka the worm.
Yeah.
And
I've had people come up to me and be like, "Hey, worm," and I'm like, "Hi, like, how do I know you?" And they're like, "You don't know me." I'm like, "That's weird." Like, okay.
it's totally
Yeah,
weird.
it's
then
kinda weird.
And then they call you by your nickname.
Yeah. And I'm like, hi, like, how are you? And I have to try to act social even though I'm like kind of freaked out.
A lot of my friends and stuff, they know that you're getting older and stuff. And we nicknamed the worm when she was about, I don't know, 3 hours old. And they thought that maybe when you became a teenager, which you just did the other day,
Yes.
that you wouldn't like being called the worm anymore.
I still like the worm.
You still like it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do you think it's like, I don't know, kind of like your handle in the LUNKERCON crowd?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Well, whether you know it or not, you've been part of the social network, the LunkerDog social network, since you have been around. And I think it's great that you've had some relationships with some of the fishermen.
Yeah.
And I think it's all good. And I'm so glad you had fun at Playlist Live.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for doing the podcast with us.
Thank you.
I hope the audience likes it, coming from a 13-year-old's perspective. And I got a feeling that you guys will get to listen to the worm a little bit more, because she's a heck of a little fishing girl. She's caught quite a few nice fish. Tell them your snook story.
Okay. This is fun. So, I don't remember how long this was, but ago.
That was last summer.
Kind of, yeah, okay. So, we went and we picked Busaka and the mom up at, I don't know what it's called.
We picked him up at the park down there on the river.
Yeah. And, we're getting ready and we're going out by the jetty, I guess. I don't know what kind of fish you're catching. I don't know names. But, we were catching these little fish and we kept losing them. And it was kind of rough.
Right.
But, we caught one and then it was about time to leave. So we went back in and we dropped them back off at the park, where they were. And then my dad, we drive away and he goes, you know what? We're just going to leave them and we're going to go snook fishing by ourselves. They're not going to be there. It's just going to be us. And I was like, okay, let's go for it. So we tried we tried casting at the lights with those little jelly lure
little
things.
Jigs, yeah.
Little jigs. And, it didn't work too well. But we went to this one and we casted it perfectly right in front of the fish. And it snagged it. And this was my first snook, so I was kind of freaking out. It was raining and I was freezing and I used my frog togs, which is my big sweater.
You're doing real guy stuff.
Yeah. Doing real guy stuff. If you're not a real guy,
right,
scoot.
If it starts raining and stuff, if you're not a real guy, it's time for you to go home.
Yeah, if you're not still wanting to fish when it's raining, sorry, you gotta go home.
So you caught your snook and you felt like a real guy that night?
I did. I felt like a real guy. Yeah.
Well, Victoria does a great job when she's out on the boat with us. She's got the right demeanor. She doesn't mind waiting for the fish to eat. She's been pretty lucky over the years. She's got tarpon, sailfish, kingfish, snooks, jacks, moonfish. Am I missing it? Oh, mutton snapper.
Confidence.
Dude, the mutton snapper you caught over in the Abacos?
Oh, yeah.
Very impressive.
That was huge.
That was very impressive. Even Vason was totally floored by it.
I think we all caught that one, though. The Loses, the Murglers.
Yeah, it was a group
Everyone.
effort. You fish together, you catch fish together. It's kind of everybody. But I just, I feel fortunate that I got a kid that likes fishing and she's good out there and we're able to enjoy some time together. And not only do we do that fishing, we do that through the social media. We always have a good time. And I think that's what it's all about. When the LunkerDog Network, whether it's me, my kid, or any of you guys out there listening, it's all about having a good time. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to this week's podcast. Run That Dog from Victoria Rose, a.k.a. The Worm. And this is Captain Jeff. We're signing out.
See you later.
Thanks so much.